My first one, I returned home from the Air Force in 1979, and I secretly went to the march. We called it a march back then. It really wasn't a parade or anything. And boy, did I admire those people. I stood on the sidelines, you know, on Fifth Avenue, or went and saw them march up from downtown, and I just admired them that they could do that. Now, in the back of my mind was the black movement. You know, it was in the 60s and civil rights and everything, and that was momentous. And then the women's movement was out there. Oh, my word. I remember when I was in high school, girls had to wear dresses, and they finally got the right to wear pants. I mean, we're only talking, this is 30 years ago, you know, which to me doesn't seem that long ago at all. And so that's why I say, wow, I never equated that gay rights would also be part of that. And also, I didn't realize there were so many of us out there. And so I attended again in 80, secretly on the side. But I'm most proud of, in 81, I attended, and that was the first time that they had a block party, like a festival. And I got enough guts when it was all over. I went through the festival, and I says, hey, can I help out? I'll be glad to help clean up and things like that. So that's the first time that I really got involved. First, let me say that I never wanted to be in the spotlight. I'm a behind-the-scenes kind of a person. I'm a support person. My talents, my skills are really in organizing and in detail-oriented. I remember in the '86 festival, when I was planning every detail of it, I was thinking, okay, they walk up to the gate, we give them an admission ticket, we tear the ticket in half and give them back the ticket. What do we do with the other half? Oh yeah, we need a trash can. Detail little things like that was how I planned things out. So I brought along the 10-year anniversary booklet for 1984 when I served on the board, and it says that I joined in 82. That's when I really got involved. I also was on the festival committee for 82 and 83, and then I was on the full board in 84, which I'm very proud of because that was our 10-year anniversary. I believe I was on the board in 83 because someone resigned, so that I got to go in there. A lot of good things were happening during that time, but also, while I served as secretary for Lambda Pride, I also served on the police liaison committee with Susan Jester and Fred Schultz and Pat Burke and a few others. I was very proud of that. I'm going out with the police at that time. And I also, Nikki asked me to be in the Log Cabin Republican Club. And we were installed as officers by Roger Hedgecock, who does the show now. He was mayor of San Diego, so I think that that's ironic that he has these anti-gay things when here 30 years ago or 20 years ago when we supported him, he installed us into the gay club. But let me tell you how, the original question, how I got involved. It was early in 1982, and I'd read about the Pride Committee getting together. And it was where the brass rail is on Fifth Avenue. To the left of it is a video store. It's been a video store for 20 years or 30 years or whatever. And that's where the meeting was. So I walked in there at night, and there were 4 people in there. Doug Moore, Carla Koschow, Rob Merrill, and John Fingston. We call him Big John. So I sat down and I listened. And they were not only planning the parade and the rally, but they were saying, you know, we're going to move the festival. Instead of it being one block, we're going to move it down to WCPC. So I listened to this whole thing. And at the end of it, I says, wow, where are you going to park all these people? And Carla turned to me and says, we don't have time to worry about parking. We got too much to do, you know, then. Can you imagine 4 people planning this whole thing? And I said, okay, I'll do it. And from that moment on, when you volunteer in an organization, as anyone who's watching this knows, there is so much that goes on that people don't know about. So much other things. I was the parking committee, but I also, well, that's when I started to just be Doug Moore's right-hand man. We worked very well together. He was my mentor, and he was my idol. He's the brains. His apartment was full of the Pride posters. He would sit down and write out all these things. Well, who did he hand it to? He handed it to David, you know, and off I'd go and go get the stuff, you know. So it was nonstop from that moment on. And I used to joke that I spent more time in Pride than I did in my work. 40 hours a week at work, 40 hours a week doing Pride. It was a lot of effort. Because at 3 o'clock in the morning, the night before the parade, you know, who goes out and puts out the little things along the sidewalk? And so that's what we did, and planned all those things and get the permits. But it was great because I got to understand the inner workings of being part of Pride. We need all 3. We need the rally. The rally reminds us of our history. It reminds us of why we all come together, and it also brings out the issues that are relevant to today and the things that we'll be facing in the future. So even though I've never been that rally-oriented, I've always appreciated them, and I've always gone. And I'm sure something about marriage equality will be out at this rally today, which a lot of us don't know the specifics of it, and yet when we go to the rally, we'll see it. But it's also the history of it, too. I was really touched the other day when I happened to be talking to a 20-something-year-old and told him about those days and what we did and stuff, and he goes, wow, I really appreciate that you guys put the effort into pride and marching so that I could have those rights today. And I thought, whoa, he realizes it already. And so that's why we need to still have the rally, to remind these people of where we've come from. I remember this was at the same time when we had the Blacks movement and the women's movement and Pride, and all of those movements can be very, very proud of the people who came out and helped put all of this together, all of their things to get them to where they are right now. Also, we need the parade. The parade is a great way of showing diversity, what variety we have in our community. I sit there so proud, especially I see P flag go by and then you see the children go by, and then you see all of the mayoral candidates and things like that. But what diversity. And I was raised in a family that was white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, and my dad was prejudiced. And yet, how can you be prejudiced and be gay? So that when you go to this event and you look at all this different variety there, that's a great way to learn about that. Also for people who are just coming out for the first time, they go, wow, I like hiking and I'm gay, but I don't know, are there other people out there that like to hike too? All of a sudden Great Outdoors walks by, or, I really want to go out to a place to go dancing, where should I go? And then the bars come by. It's a great way to teach the community about what's going on. And look, we had 150,000 people last year. This is the largest civic event in San Diego. I remember, we had 3,000 after our first parade or whatever, something was done. And I was beaming that it was 3,000 people. By the way, another good thing, and wise choice that they did, was moving it from June to the end of July. Because June is June gloom. I just read in the paper the other day, 28 out of 30 days in June last year were overcast. And it's more of a celebration when it's warmer, take their shirts off, they celebrate, and dance and all of that kind of stuff. So that was a really good choice too. So we need the parade to have that. The festival has always been one of my favorites because it pulls into my talents. I'm a multitasking kind of a person, so that's why I really enjoyed organizing the festival. It takes a lot of different facets, and it's a great way for these organizations, like I mentioned Great Outdoors earlier, they can have a booth at the festival and raise money to help them in their budget for the whole year. And so we need that, and it's a great time to celebrate after it. So it's all three factions, rally, and the parade and the festival, but we need all three. And in fact, now I sort of look at it as all four, because I always go to the concert on Thursday night, which kicks off Pride, and all the choruses come together. So it's beginning to be, and now this year, 2 weeks beforehand, we're going to have the out at the park, the Padre baseball game on July 11th, and so Pride's turning into the whole month celebration. So we need them all.